From what I understand, you guys had questions on set. You have to kind of understand what you're doing. So on set, who had the most questions? Are you looking at Rob? Is he looking at you? Are you both like, did you get this? Do you get it?
Yeah, bro code. I'm not going to give anybody up. I'm going to go ahead and just say I did. I asked the most questions. Yep.
I don't know. I think you're taking one for the team.
Exactly.
I always like to talk to actors that are kind of in the middle of a special moment. And certainly this is that for you. I mean, there are Marvel movies, there are DC movies, and there are Christopher Nolan movies. Talk to me about what it was like when you knew you were the guy in a Christopher Nolan movie. What's that moment like?
Well, it's funny you say it like that. Like Christopher Nolan is his own genre, and I've been a fan since I can remember. I mean, what his films did for me. Every time I left the theater watching one of his films, I felt so charged, I just felt like I just left the world I was in, especially when experiencing films in IMAX. So at the prospect of being able to be a part of that, being inside it for real, being on the other side of it, and people having possibly that same feeling they have coming out of the theater, that's something that I'm in of his. I just was overwhelmed with joy and pride and just excitement when I got the call to that I was going to be not just have a role, but a huge role in his film. I just couldn't believe it.
The stunts in something like this, it doesn't get bigger. You obviously have quite a resume as an athlete. Could you have handled the stunts without your background in football?
Growing up as a kid, my cousin and I, Rick Weaver, we always used to watch kung fu movies and action movies and just go out into the backyard after what we saw and flip. And I taught myself how to flip and dive off, into pools and stuff like that with him. So we were trained to be action heroes since we were kids. So I like to say yes, but I don't think so. To put your body, shout out to the Tom Cruises of the world and Arnold Schwarzeneggers and Jean-Claude Van Damme, all these people, they might do 2 of these a year for 10 years straight. I don't know how they do it, to be honest, because what you put your body through it's really intense. It's insane. And football really helped me with my confidence and to be able to anticipate the wear and tear of such a tall ask of this movie, but nothing can really prepare you to fight backwards. That's never been done before. Let's just be honest. So,
right.
So, we needed the time that was allotted before we started filming to capture these movements and get them done specifically, accurately, and as smooth as possible. But nothing can prepare you for that.
Talk to me a little bit about when you made the decision to kind of really make a go at an acting career. You obviously, you're a smart guy. You know that people are going to have their preconceived notions. You're the son of one of the biggest movie stars ever. Mm-hmm. So when you start to walk into audition rooms, did you feel it? Did you feel there were expectations, there were preconceived notions, or did you feel like you were given a fair shot?
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel it. I knew that was always going to be a part of it, but I got that lesson early. When I earned my own scholarship, when I was nationally ranked coming out of high school, it was always Denzel Washington's son that was ranked coming out of high school. It was always Denzel Washington's son, who was a 5-star for whatever star athlete I was, and earned his own scholarship, had a great game, set collegiate records, all of that. It was all, even I made ESPN top. It was the top plays of the week. And it was Denzel's son made top plays of the week. And I think they even showed his clip right after I did my run. So it's inescapable. There's nothing I can do about it. But it prepared me to for any kind of whatever preconceived notions or unfair prejudgment before I even get in the room. It was motivating too. I use it as fuel, both in football and in this. And it isn't the reason I worked hard, but it definitely aided in my consistency of my hard work and having to just dedicate myself to this craft, which I do love. So I was going to do it anyway for the love, but it just gives you that extra boost.
Did you feel when you were on the football field that your name made you a target? Did guys want to take you out for bragging rights to say, I took out Denzel Washington's son?
I think about how twisted that is. Usually in football, it's your mama jokes, it's your mama this, your mama that, but in my case, it was more. I would get compliments about my father after after a hard hit from one of the defenders, saying, "I love you." They would say stuff like, "I love your dad's movies," when they just knocked my head off. It was the weirdest thing. It was so crazy. So I definitely felt that there was extra incentive of getting Denzel's son on the ground. However, I also found it quite satisfying when I had a great game and they were introduced to who I really was. And I think I was looking for that in this, like, oh, if I just have a great game, if I do great in a movie, then they'll just see me. But I shouldn't, I got to manage my expectations, because that's the point of art. You see it how you want to see it. But that's also why I didn't do a lot of press early on. I wanted just people to see the work. Let it be a mystery, sort of like a Batman Bruce Wayne complex, you know, just a vigilante actor. They don't even know it's me.
Yeah, did you ever consider changing the name totally and just dropping the Washington? I mean, I guess they're going to find out either way, right?
And I'll bring more attention to it. And quite frankly, I'm proud to be a Washington. I think he's the greatest actor of all time. And I'm lucky to have two parents that are healthy, alive, and very active in my life, that are super supportive. So that would be a disrespect to them and all the hard work and raising me and their patience, putting up with me, because I was a hard
Yeah, I know you were just telling me you were staying at home up until recently. Did who kicked who out? Did they kick you out? Did you say I gotta go? What happened?
Yeah, like, you know what, Mom? I'm leaving. Yeah.
Yeah, did your voice go back to like when you were 16?
Yeah, I was like,
I don't want to be here anyway.
Hey, you know what? I'm sick of it. I don't want to take out the trash. I'm 30, guys. I'm 30. So, like, you know, it was definitely my decision. It was my decision. My mom wanted me to stay there.
I know beyond Tenet, you've got a lot going on. You've managed to make what sounds like a really cool project in the last few months with Sam Levinson, Zendaya. What can you say about Malcolm and Marie? What are we going to see?
Without giving too much away, I mean, I think we made some history, and we made some cultural history, I think. I'm very excited to have, you know, the producers that we've had on there. In particular, I'm thinking about, you know, the African-American women, you know, Katya Elizabeth Washington, who set protocol for our safety. I mean, that's the part of the history I'm talking about. Zendaya being a producer, that's the part of the history I'm talking about. That being a part of something like this with producers like them, hopefully we can see more of that in a project like this. I mean, Sam Levinson, I think, is so brilliant. He's one of the best writers around, and what he's able to do cinematically with this is just beautiful. And what he's able to do with people that look like us with what he did is remarkable. Going from like the biggest budget film of my career to perhaps the smallest budget film of my career with Sam. So it's like, but the experiences, they were so great, you know, identically, because of that collaborative factor. And ultimately what it taught me is it's about the work, and it's about the enthusiasm of the process, which both possessed.
Were you a fan of Euphoria? You angling for a guest
Absolutely.
shot?
That's why I signed up.
Really?
I sorry to cut you off, but I was hoping that was going to be a follow-up. That's why I signed up. What they're doing, I think people are still catching up to what they did last season. It's really incredible stuff what they're doing. And I was lucky to just have a little part in this film with them.
Does it feel like it's inevitable for any actor of your age, anyone that's coming up in this business, superhero role at some point? I mean, is that part of your interest anyway? Is that something you grew up with and something that would be important to you to give it a stab?
If I'm asked, you know, I haven't been asked. So, I guess I have been with Tenet. I mean, I feel like that's a superhero, but yeah, right. You know, if I get asked, sure. Heck yeah.
Have you done your research on Jon Stewart, Green Lantern? Do you know much about him? If and when the meeting happens, you want to be prepared.
Not enough to talk about it. I know I'm vaguely familiar, but not enough to talk about it in great detail.
Gotcha. Well, hopefully they'll give you an hour or two before the meeting, and you'll quickly go to the Wikipedia page and check it out.
No, hopefully they give me a week or something. You know, let me get in there.
What are the priorities for you? Like when we're talking in 5 years about the body of work that you've accumulated, is it important to you to have a varied resume, to promote certain kinds of roles for your own community? You know, how do you choose now? Because you're going to have more choice than ever.
Hopefully I get to work and collaborate with some great artists that are out there right now, like Sam, for example, where they're taking the artistry to new levels. I really appreciate. And I feel like I'm learning. So you said 5, but I'm looking at it as a 10-year plan. I'm just trying to gather all the knowledge I can and learn so much. You know, I'm a student of the game. So hopefully in 10 years, I can say I feel pretty comfortable about where I am as an artist and excited to take it to new levels. But these 10 years, I'm hoping to work with people that really want to work with me, people that I respect, you know.